Welcome to Biz Coach and Coffee, where our guests are experts, entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants that share tips, strategies, and tactics to help small business entrepreneurs grow their business for long-term success. Please welcome your host, Biz Coach Steve Feld.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Biz Coach Steve Feld, and my goal is to stop business owners from suffering entrepreneurial depression and start making running their businesses much easier. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to crack multiple 6 and even 7 figures without burning themselves out. Today, we have another wonderful guest with us. We have Sheria Stallings. And Sheria, okay, you got to hear this story. She's an energetic and enthusiastic cancer survivor, teacher, and a coach that loves to encourage others with hope and truth. How nice. She is passionate about inspiring others to fulfill their destinies and build a legacy. She is also the founder and manager director of Soars, as well as Cast Your Pearls philanthropy benefit. And say that 10 times fast. She soars above you. Anyways, please welcome Sheria.
You got it. You got it. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I am so loving your energy. I'm ready to take this walk with you and have some fun. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I thought you were throwing that little tongue twister at the end there. I was like, okay.
Right, Peter Piper picked a pet. Pickled peppers. You got it. You made it through. You made it through.
We're trying to look professional here. Sometimes it doesn't pull off so well.
Hey.
Well, the first thing I got to ask, because you're doing quite a bit, and you're inspiring and enlightening people. How did you start on your journey?
That is a great question. I would like to say that all the experiences of my life, and all from education, my work background, all the pieces in my life just came together like perfect symphony. You have your orchestra, you have your choir, your altos, your sopranos, your baritones, and when you bring all those pieces together, it's like great harmony. And so with that being said, with my over 20-year career in business development, as well as having over 20 years working in ministry within women's ministry. And then, as you mentioned, which also happened over 20 years ago, me being a cancer survivor, putting all those pieces together, I didn't want to just live in the box and just work in ministry by itself. And then being in corporate America, I felt that there was something missing in terms of really that will allow, I work mostly with women, to achieve a certain level of success. And just pulling those 3 pieces together, even being a cancer survivor, to let women know or people know that your misery can become your message and you could turn tragedy into triumph. I birthed She Soars, which is a transformational leadership and professional development network where we really dig in to look at all those barriers that create stumbling blocks to women's success in business and in life in general.
Fantastic. Because definitely people need to step in and step out of certain things and step into something brand new to really create who they really want to be, live up to their true potential. That's phenomenal. So you said a lot about women. So do you primarily work with women business owners, just women? Who's your clientele?
So I work mostly with women business owners. However, I do have men that I work with, and that also support me as well. So we do workshops. With the pandemic that just came, we're kind of like post-pandemic.
Yeah.
Depending on what state you're in and who you're speaking to, Steve, right? So what I found 2.5 years ago, my business had to pivot and had to shift, where I would do speaking engagements, I would do workshops, seminars, for for corporations. I even in doing that, I would have principals and social workers come to me and ask me, although I work with business women, can I scale down my curriculum and do something in their high school or in their group homes? And so then that kind of birth another business model for me. And with the pandemic, I had to pivot, like I said. And so I had to take advantage of living in a hybrid space because I was completely shut down from doing face to face, getting on a plane, doing a retreat. And so now I'm taking, now I'm playing with this model in this new world that we're doing right now, living in Zoom spaces, living in team spaces, as well as, not only having to stand on a stage. And so that has been very interesting. But I'm here. It's not going to change. It's not going away. We just have to be ready to pivot and shift and do whatever it is that the world calls for at the time.
That's true. I mean, I went virtual actually 4 years before the pandemic started because I got tired of driving 19,000 miles a year and living in my car, going from client to appointment, client appointment. It was just like in networking and all these other meetings. And it changed my whole life. And then when the pandemic hit, it was like, well, my clients were used to it. A lot of people were already used to what I was doing. And they're like, what is that thing you're on all day?
Like, oh, let me tell you about it.
Yeah, show you how it works.
Yeah, we'll never go back. It'll never. This is the world we're in, and I'm loving this hybrid space as well. I feel that it gives us the best of both worlds because it's nice to be home sometimes. It's nice to be able to sit at your table and go in your refrigerator and not a hotel refrigerator all the time, from traveling and being in those different places and spaces. It's exciting, initially, but I don't want to date myself after a while, it gets a little old.
I know, we were talking about that. I live in hotel rooms and it's like, there's nothing like being in the same spot for like 3 days in a row. There's something about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I try a week or two.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
been there.
We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back. We got to dig in a little bit deeper on how you transform people.
Let's do it.
This episode is sponsored by Spotlight Books. Get your expert book completed in 30 days. If you don't have an expert lead magnet book about you and how you serve your market, then visit www.spotlight-books.com. Link is also in the show notes. Put a spotlight on your expertise.
And we're back. So we're talking about you're having people step into like their better selves, step into who they want to be. And we're talking about identifying, I think, blind spots. I mean, this is the way humans are. That's just the way we are. A lot of us go around with blinders on. I mean, I work with small business owners, entrepreneurs, and coaches. It's like, it happens. I have a coach so they can get those blinders expanded as well. When they come to you, I mean, what is like one of their major like blocks? Like, this is stopping me from living and playing full out.
The mindset, and I'll dig into that a little bit. One of the things I like to say is to follow your calling and not the crowd. You will hear phrases like, Steve, be yourself. And I really do feel, and this is my belief, it is my experience, that to be yourself is one of the hardest things to do because people are criticizing you for not doing things just like them.
Right.
But yet we think we celebrate individuality.
Right.
The next thing is, and this is a generic statement, it's a broad stroke, it doesn't apply to every woman, but this is this phrase. I remember I read something somewhere like men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. And when it comes to our businesses and life, that men generally they know how to compartmentalize things. If something is going on personally or at home, he can still come to the office and run and do kick butt things in his business. Women, everything is all intertwined. That's the spaghetti. And so if something is happening in a relationship with family, at home, whatever, not as good as they will want it to be, it will show up in other places. So when I start putting my workshops together and working with my clients in group sessions and individually, I realized that although they came to, push past those barriers to run successful businesses. And we will talk about what I call my 7 key areas of success. We'll look at purpose and process and presentations and public speaking and prospecting and pricing. But then I realized sometimes that thing that was getting in the way had absolutely nothing to do with the business itself. So I had to intertwine the emotional intelligence, the personal, to dig into what's blocking them, what's getting in their way. And Steve, I'll say this and stop, that a lot of people do not know what other people experience each and every time they interact with someone. And so that's the blind spot as well. And so then we would have to do a deeper dive to really look at what is creating those barriers to their success.
That's true. I love that analogy. Waffles and spaghetti.
I love both, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say together.
Yeah, no, not together, but I love them both.
But it's so true. It's like you got to get rid of those blocks, and you can't take two different things and try to combine them. I see that happen with many business owners, and they say, "Oh, well, if I make this call, then 5 other things are going to happen," and they're all negative. And it's like, you haven't even made the call yet, and all those 5 things have no correlation with the one call. So, what's really stopping you from making that one call?
Correct. And how about this? I love this question. What are you pretending not to know?
Yeah. That's a good one.
What are you pretending not to know? Let's have the conversation.
It's funny you mentioned that. Yeah, I just had this conversation with one of my coaches this week. He's like, "Well, I'm afraid to call. What if I get no's?" I'm like,
Okay.
At least you got an answer.
Yes. It's better not to know. It's like, yeah, I don't want to go left on this. It's like someone who's thinking something's going on with their body, and if I ignore it, is going to go away.
Right.
Not so.
True. Well, good. I also know that you do other things, speaking and everything else. You have workshops or anything else coming up in the future?
Absolutely. So I have a few things. We do things called Operation 1440. And this workshop, the 1440, is the number of minutes that each person have in a day. And so basically, this workshop is built around that if each one of us wake up today, we all have the same 1,440 minutes in our day. And how you use yours and somebody use theirs will determine what your tomorrow look like. So under this workshop, we deal with creating additional revenue streams and then we have something called Operation Self-Assessment, where we take a look back as we're putting together that 5-year plan, and we're dealing with accountability. That's another thing, because there has to be accountability. We create that buddy system, those accountability partners, to ensure that we do get to the finish line. If not, we do a postmortem to say what got in the way, what do we need to tweak, what's working, let's keep doing that, what's not working, were there any detours along the way? And are not totally bad. When I shared with you earlier, Steve, my my main client are women that are in business. It was not even a thought that I will also be teaching in schools, or that a few social workers actually came to me to come and bring it to their group home, for in an area where these young teenagers were considered troubled, how to give them hope, how to start to change their mindset, that they're more than the biggest mistake that either they made, or they are more than the biggest mistake that was made in the lives of their families, that they don't have to self-identify with that they can make the decision to soar.
Wow. Excellent. I know we're almost out of time. Do you have any final parting words for anyone? Because that was great what you just said.
Very simple. I always say work hard and play hard. My motto here is she laughs, she plays, she thrives, she soars. And if you don't do anything else, live, 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 and live.
That is phenomenal. I just want to say thank you so much for being our guest here. Way to end on that high note.
Thank you so much, Steve. It's a pleasure. This is what I love to do. This is my passion. There are so many women and other people that supported me in my endeavor in business, and it is my life work to give back and to help others do the same.
That's it. That's why we do what we do. Well, thank you so much, folks. If you want to hear other great experts and you don't want to miss one of these episodes, please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel on whatever platform you are listening on. There's so many. Anyways, this is Biz Coach Steve Feld wishing you and your business much success.
We hope you enjoyed today's topic. If you'd like to discuss how you can apply these strategies in your business, let us know. This episode is sponsored by Spotlight Books. Get your own expert book written about you in 30 days. Set yourself apart from the competition. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to give us your comments. We look forward to hearing from you on Biz Coach and Coffee.